When I was in school, I was not the best student. I didn't do homework. I was the one who the teachers tried to engage. But I had a few teachers that actually did engage me. They found that I enjoy learning. I do. I enjoy learning on my own terms. They found ways to engage me. They sparked something. And if it wasn't for them, I don't know. They were really mentors for me. But I didn't go right into education. But I knew when I started college that I wanted to be a teacher. I took a roundabout way of getting here, but I think it helped. I'm able to relate a lot of the math that I do to what I've done in the past. I had 8 years in civil engineering that I can relate tons of math. My students ask, when will we use this? And I can tell them, and it's a good thing. But I've always been teaching. Even when I was in engineering, I was teaching. It's a reward that transcends anything else.
I've been in the financial services industry for about 30 years. About 4.5 years ago, I was diagnosed with stage 3 cancer. And the first time you hear your name and the word cancer in the same sentence, things change. Priorities change. And I wanted to do something that was important. And got involved in substitute teaching a day here and there. And discovered that I really enjoyed it. And just moved on from there and decided that teaching would be what I wanted to do. I'm coming to teaching at a point in life where most people are looking at being done with being a teacher. I'm having a ball. The kids are different every day. There are some days that are great days, some days, we challenge. But for the most part, I have found the students here to be extremely courteous. I heard more please and thank yous here in my first week than I heard in a year substitute teaching where I was before. We have a gentleman that comes to our school from Hustle University. His name is Hotep. And one of the things he did at one of his lessons was his measures of success. And I asked the students to write about what their measure of success was, what somebody would use to measure them as successful or not. Where's the yardstick that you're using that says this person is successful? And that made them stop and think. And once they got past that, money is not the only measure of success, we got some great answers.
I knew teaching would give me the opportunity to share my enthusiasm when it came to learning. I knew that I would never get bored because each day would be different. I would be surrounded by different types of children with different perspectives on the world, and it would allow me to see things through a child's eyes. I would get to bring love and joy to all of my students every day, even when they might not receive that at home. I would get to instill a lifelong love of learning into my students and make them honest, hardworking, and independent individuals, for they are our future. After considering these reasons, what more could have prompted me to become a teacher? It might not have been what I originally set out for, but I definitely had a calling, and I will be forever thankful.
One of the things that I have realized with them is because they're kindergarten and they need a lot of the foundational skills. So it seems repetitive a lot, but we have a lot of routines in place for them to learn ABCs, 1, 2, 3s, things like that, because those are things that, especially if they've never been in school before, if they're not used to books, things like that, it's very important that they're exposed to all of these things repeatedly. And last year, that was something that I had to learn. I went over it and thought, why aren't they getting it? So I do have a math routine in place I really like, and I think that it's really allowing them to learn faster than last year's students. Their numbers, number recognition, the sequence of numbers, as well as in reading. The routines that I have in place, though, to actually get them with the foundational skills is working. I think that they come in feeling comfortable in the classroom, and that's, I think, my greatest strength.
I always knew that I wanted to teach. As a child, I can remember playing school at home. Even then, the idea of teaching others made me happy. After many years of helping teachers teach their students, this year I finally began living my dream of teaching my own class. I was elated at the idea of having the opportunity to impact a child's life on my own and in my own way. I get to teach, nurture, and prepare my students for their future endeavors. Teaching is one of the most important things that I have the privilege of doing in my life. I look forward to going to work every morning because I know that my day will be filled with opportunities to make a difference in my students' lives. My students prove this fact to me on a daily basis when they have their aha or oh I get it moments. My heart is full of pride and joy because I know that I was a part of their learning experience. It is hard to put into words the pride and honor that I have felt knowing that I have made a difference in a child's life by helping them achieve success.
Well, I first experienced the joy of teaching about 10 years ago when I taught my first Sunday school class at church, and I love the concept of helping someone dig into a concept and have an aha moment. So that got me interested in working with people in the teaching field, and I have cross-cultural experience. I grew up in Latin America, so I naturally paired that with teaching ESOL and started my journey in pursuing teaching that way. I think in the class setting that I'm in, my greatest teaching strength is my cross-cultural experience. Growing up overseas, I'm conversant in Spanish, and the fact that I mess up in my Spanish allows them to see that it's okay that they mess up learning English and they can try to speak it without speaking it perfectly. And so I work real hard to create a safe place for them to practice their English, and then I work to create real-life situations where they have to practice English, that they can think outside of the textbook and help them create dialogues that they would use at the doctor's office or at the grocery store or with their children in their homework. So helping them take their English and apply it to their everyday life is very important.